Okay. Je crois.
Yep, we are live.
We are live. Bonjour. Bonjour, everyone.
Bonjour.
This is
Hello.
Bertrand.
And I'm Paul. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. We are literally sunbathing right now. You can see our happy faces with a pretty tan.
Working our tan, like you see.
Especially Paul, who lives here. We are far from Paris.
Yes.
We are actually a good 7 hours, 8 hours drive, or 4 hours by train. We are in my hometown where I was born in the Basque country. It's a city called Bayonne. And Paul here is a local guide in Bayonne and other towns, villages, and cities of the French and Spanish Basque country.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're very lucky today to have Paul, who will tell us the best stories about Bayonne. I'm very excited because I was born here. I left when I was 7 years old. So I have great memories from childhood, but I don't have his expertise. So we're very excited to do this together today.
Yep.
We are also happy to have you all following us. Through the chat, you can ask questions for Paul and I to help you with directions and trying to follow us. We are going to film all the street names because I've read your emails and some of you are following us on Google Maps.
Oh, really?
So they want to know exactly where we go. So we will tell you because the names here, the way it sounds is rarely the way you would write it. So we are going to share all of this with you. And first of all, I want to switch the camera because I have to show you what we see. We need to share that a little bit, Paul, because we have in front of us the old city of Bayonne.
Exactly.
With hundreds of years. How many centuries was that? 14 centuries? 15 centuries of history?
Maybe more actually.
Maybe even more?
Yeah, the first knowledge we have about Bayonne and the first facts actually started around the 1st century. The first populations who start living here was probably, and we are not really even sure about it, but around 1st century.
Wow. But so hundreds of years of history to talk about. We are going to take you up to these two pointy towers, which is the beautiful cathedral Sainte-Marie of Bayonne. We're going to talk a little bit because what you see here, this building there and that one here, these are two towers that date back from the Roman times, right?
Exactly. So when we, as a first introduction, it's really important to understand Bayonne is built on a hill. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
here.
That's a good idea. We're going to show you. We are actually on the old walls, on the ramparts. So I'm going to show you. Wow, voila, right down here. There used to be. Was there even some water to protect?
Probably, yeah. It was kind of wet and yeah, a lot of a little river probably and some.
Yeah, because we're on the edge of the main river. Is going this way. We're going to walk by the river. It's a very nice walk nowadays. But we are on the fortress wall of Bayonne, and what we see here
is the heart of the city.
The heart of the city. So Bayonne, you say there is Roman history in Bayonne.
Yeah, the Romanian started to build and to fortify the city. At this time, Bayonne wasn't under this name. It was called La Pourdoum.
La Pourdoum.
It wasn't Bayonne. So
a very different name.
Indeed. Yeah, but actually no, because after it gave us the name of the area, Labour.
Yes. Oh, in English it will be labor.
Labor. Yeah, so
labor. So
yeah, hard work.
It's a hard-working land. Good.
So what remains today from this Romanian times is these towers. You can see two of them.
I think you mean Roman times.
Roman times.
Not from Romania.
No, Roman times.
Roman times.
From Roman times is this tower and few parts of the walls of the fortress of the
of the wall. Yeah. And so people live in it?
Yes, today a lot of people are living in it, and actually it was kind of forbidden to live in these towers during this old time. But it was long time ago, and it's, you see how it's beautiful and old.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see the
Oops.
details.
I think there's a car that is trying to pass by. You guys,
Modern times.
you guys can see that, you know, there's a Porsche, a Porsche SUV that is passing by the old Roman wall. So, you know, old and the new, all together.
You need many horses to do this.
And so nowadays people would live in such a tower.
So now it's private apartments and private flats, but it wasn't the case before. It was just on a military purpose at the beginning. Because if we go just right here, maybe you will see that we are, as I was saying, on a hill, on a cliff.
Yeah,
and
we see that pretty well.
It's from a military perspective. It's Bayonne is located southwest of France, as you said it, and we are really close to the Pyrenees, which we will see the Pyrenees, so the mountain chains, and we are really close to Spain. We are almost on the Spanish borders. So even during these old times, the Romans understood that it was a strategic point.
A very strategic point. Join me, Paul. We're going to switch to selfie a little bit, just to, you know, I don't know if guys, you all have a bit of sun today. We wish you have the same sun as
really
we
warm.
have. And yeah, so where you see just in between the two of us, these now are housings, but they follow exactly the path of the Roman walls.
Exactly.
And so the city, because we were maybe 20 yards away, and so the city did not grow much bigger, because in Paris there's also the Roman walls, and then the city grew bigger, etc.
Yeah.
Well, Bayonne
extended.
Bayonne, you told me, until 1907 it was closed by these walls.
Yeah. It was completely forbidden to go
outside the walls.
Outside the walls, exactly. So it's pretty new.
Let's check these walls. Yeah, pretty
solid walls.
Yeah, pretty thick walls. If you want to go through, well, good luck. You know, start digging today, and we will have a little apéro before and join me later.
I don't want to try, to be honest.
So it's amazing, because we just passed the door and there's no more traffic noise at all.
No, it's peaceful, it's beautiful, and you see all this
and all in the
typical
shades.
Architecture. Maybe you see this thin thin house, really typical with these colors. Maybe you can.
Yeah, we can see this is the typical local architecture.
Exactly.
So the white walls and red beams.
Yeah, exactly. You see all this red wood on the walls. It's typically coming from this area of France. It's the architecture from there, and it's pretty old way to do houses. And today you can see it clearly and directly.
Yeah.
But during the past, it wasn't the case at all. They were all pretty covered.
All the wood was covered?
Almost all the wood was covered, exactly. Because
by what?
To prevent fire, to protect against the weather, who can be really strong here, you know. Yeah. Now it's sunny, but you know that maybe in 1 hour it could start raining a lot and then freezing.
Yeah, that can happen here. Guys, we are 2 miles away from the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
So we're not by the sea, but 2 miles away. And yeah, the storm, the weather can change very, very quickly. And here we have also, I love these old streets of Bayonne, because everywhere you look, you could think you are in the Middle Ages if it was not for the motorbikes that we see there. You replace that by horses.
By horses, yeah, exactly.
And we're back to the Middle Ages with those beautiful houses.
That's exactly this. It didn't change a lot since this 16th, 17th century, in his general way.
Yeah.
The way it's built in the general. Yeah.
So how many people live in Bayonne nowadays?
So today it's around 40,000 people during the off seasons. But when we go through summer, a lot of people are coming.
Yeah, like me, you mean?
Yeah, like people who want to discover these beautiful places. They often have like their own flats for the vacation and the holidays, so they're coming for a few weeks to enjoy the place. And during the summer
let me stop you 1 second, Paul. I'm sorry, because I know what this is, but can you explain what we see, these little flags?
Yeah, it's really important for us here because it's our flag. And when I mean our flag, it's the Basque flag. As you may know, we are really proud here of our culture, of our...
Let me film you when you say that.
The typical Basque here, like we are small, but we are kind of lot of energy. Okay. And what you see here...
And so this is the Basque flag.
Yeah, it's the Basque flag called the Ikurunia. It's a Basque word. I will give you a few Basque words during the tour.
Yeah.
Because still today, here in this place, we are speaking a language called the Basque language, which is one of the oldest spoken on Earth on the spot.
Still today.
Still today, yeah.
Could you do this tour in Basque, Paul? And tell the truth, because I know some of your cousins are watching.
Yeah, I can say you in Basque a little sentence if you want. It's like ez dakit euskarat mintzatzen, which means I don't know how to speak Basque.
Good. Okay. At least you know that. That is pretty good. But people speak French too here.
Yeah, French and
English.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Like you or better?
Oh, no.
I think people are very worried now.
Yeah. They should.
Yeah, these are gorgeous houses.
You see the colors, how it's beautiful, and with this blue sky, it's
and very quiet, because this is, guys, on Tuesday. Tuesday is Bastille Day, which is the French national holiday, and so it's the biggest weekend. I took the train; it was overcrowded, very expensive, not one seat left, and yet it's Saturday, and in these streets of Bayonne, if we're not where the bars are, there's no one coming here.
Yeah,
they should.
No, it's the more we're gonna go through this visit, the more people we're gonna see, I guess. But here it's really peaceful, and that's the charm of the place.
We start with secret streets,
and
then we'll get to where it's
public.
It's busy. So we are heading towards the cathedral.
Yes. It's as I said, it's the heart of the city, and it's really, really important for us here. This cathedral, it's where, and it's actually one of the oldest.
This is a pretty shop.
Yeah, it's an old shop for books.
Relire, it's when you cover books.
Yeah, books covering. It's still in the whole heart.
And at the same time, I love that with Bayonne. So you see very old books being repaired, and then you look next door,
burger bar,
and you have a burger bar. So maybe
it shows the way we live in here.
We don't live in the past here.
We live with the past.
We live with the past. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I would say. Oh, you see how we can see the big wall?
Yeah, let's go this way.
It's beautiful.
So you were saying the cathedral. Oh, we hear the cathedral bells.
Yeah. Right on time.
So the cathedral is Sainte-Marie.
Yeah, the cathedral is Sainte-Marie. And
guys, I'm looking for a street sign. Oh, yes. So if some of you are following us, you can type this address: 14 Rue Prébondé. Prébondé. Before Bondé, right?
Yeah.
All right, here you go. 1214 Street of the Prébondé, and we're heading towards the cathedral. So cathedral, you said it's built where the Roman fort. It was a city, or it was a military city?
It was a military base camp. It was first of all, a military base camp, and it started to be kind of village through the Middle Age. And during the Middle Age, where we're going now is the cathedral, was a Romanian cathedral. But what you're gonna see in a few seconds is not a Romanian type cathedral. It's a good thing.
Yeah, here it is. Wow.
Look out, it's beautiful.
Whoa.
Beautiful and big. And so was built in 1257 to be exact. And the construction quite lasts long in the time, because it was over around the 19th century, mid-19th century. So imagine.
So almost
600
600 years to complete the cathedral. You were telling me, because 600 years, it's not as if they were working every day for 600 years.
No.
The part that was added, maybe you guys can see it, and then there's a difference in the colors of the stone. So the actual, well, in French we will call them the arrows, but the two spires up there, they were added in the 19th century. So
mid 19th century, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the construction started in 1257. During 300 years, it was going on, and then it stopped because of financial issues and
no more money for the church.
Yeah, no more money for the church. So it takes quite a long time to find us all these resources, and it started back around the 17th century.
Again
Until the 19th century, when it was over. And I'm going to be lucky enough to go in maybe a bit. What do you think, Bertrand?
Yes, let's try to go in. We have to put on our masks, guys. Let's because inside we have to. Yeah. Thank you both for listening.
So maybe you can see some inspiration from Notre Dame, because all the masters who built this cathedral got inspired by Reims and a bit Soissons Cathedral.
And this is an interesting window. I've never seen a window like that. It's not a rose window.
No,
it looks like it's
septentrional. It's meant septentrional Gothic. Yeah. It's a typical way of all the cathedral from Bourgogne and north of France. And it was this cathedral, Sainte-Marie, was directly inspired by this architecture.
I guess here there used to be statues. We see there,
which disappeared during the French Revolution. Exactly.
And we can see, I think it closer. We can see that there used to be more.
You know, during the church monuments were kind of destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's what remains today.
So, guys, we're going inside the cathedral up to show you what it looks like. We have to be silent. There's still mass going on.
Yeah, we're gonna be quiet.
So this is going to be. It's not like the sound is not working anymore. It's just that we have to lower our voice, but we want to share that with you. It's beautiful. Oh yeah. It's almost 26 meters high. 26 meters. So in feet, that would be like 80 feet high. Yeah, it's pretty huge. It's definitely not a small cathedral.
No, it's really huge. And on the roof, maybe I don't know if you can guys see, there is many like pictures.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom.
Which represent Bayonne history.
So guys, if you see, so above our head is there's an image at the
Bayonne
cross
stand.
vault. And this one here, we have the fleur de lis of the French king and the 3 lions of the English king. And this is because Bayonne for 300 years was under the
English crown
administration. And so all the history of Bayonne from the 1100s and onwards is represented on the vault. That's pretty neat. That's very cool.
So, and we can really see the Gothic architecture here with all these lines.
Yeah.
It's really going up to the sky and to the light.
I'm so happy to be here because, you know, in Paris, we cannot get into Notre Dame Cathedral since the fire last year.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's really cool.
But you see, for such a mid-range city as Bayonne, it's a huge cathedral.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And beautiful.
And you said there's a cloister just outside?
Yeah. A beautiful cloister. A few meters away.
So we're going to get into the cloister. So we're going to try to walk by the cloister of the cathedral. Thank you for taking us in here.
Oh no, it's a pleasure.
It's very quiet, very Hey,
Yeah.
John.
Look,
Looks like someone's getting married, guys. So if you want to see it,
wish her good luck.
but chance. Okay, I think we look like two weirdos. Tom.
Yeah. They didn't understand. They are not dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
if you see two person like us speaking in English in the middle of Bayonne, why would you freak out? Well, apparently, you know.
they just run away.
Yeah, we're not very good with the ladies, and it's good this way.
This old wall, we can see really the
Switch up.
oh yeah. Oh, this tower.
Yeah, because next to the and the light is just fantastic today. Because next to the cathedral, we can see the spire here.
Yeah.
Is the cloister, and the cloister today is a place where people in Bayonne walk when they want to be, in calm environment. But it was not always like that, right?
No, actually, during Middle Age, it was the heart of the city where justice was given. It was the justice court, the market. It could be a lot of things. And now it's really peaceful, look, and it's beautiful. And actually, it's one of the biggest cloister of France.
Wow. And very well preserved.
Yep. Yeah. It's a long work.
So this is the wall of the cloister. There's an entrance here, but it's not open for now. And then we're going to turn left.
Yeah, we can go
go around the cloister, right?
Yeah, we can go around the cloister and maybe near the river.
Let me just make sure. Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
You're right. Let's see a little bit the comments we have. Bonsoir Paul et Bertrand from Frenchtown, Michigan. Marie-Hélène, thank you very much for being here. John Nickerson, bonjour John, how are you doing?
Oh, there's a car.
There's a car.
So we have a question from Amy Scribner.
Yeah, Amy Scribner. But let's wait. Let's see, Martin, I hope you hear us better. I'm taking your advice. It's great, guys, if you write email to us with saying what you think about these tours, because obviously, we're more at ease in real life than online. So tell us everything. It's always great to get better. Susan, Christy, Darren. I see we have our usual
everybody.
fans. And so Amy is asking, is the population old, young, or mixed ages? Paul, I'll let you...
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. And it's exactly this. It's mixed. We have a lot of young people.
And while you keep talking, Paul, I'm just going to film the street name.
People who are enjoying all the bars, the restaurants. It's a lot. We do a lot of sports here also. So it's a really lifestyle. I mean, and there's also old people living here during the entire year. It's mixed. It's a really perfect.
Yeah, because in Bayonne you have elementary schools, middle schools,
high schools, university, where
yeah.
I studied. Yeah, exactly.
And so, guys, we are at the cross between Street of Luc and Street Montaut.
Rue
Montaut. So we leave Rue Montaut, which is going this way through the cloister, and we're actually going to Rue de Luc this way.
Rue de Luc. Let's go.
So Rue de Luc, and you can see, guys, that the streets are barred for cars. So now we are going to be just ourselves. Wow, these houses are gorgeous once again, and the sunlight hitting the walls, it's really cool. So yeah, mixed
population. Yeah,
mixed population.
It's a really enjoyable place for no matter your age. You have things to do and things to enjoy, and it's a lifestyle. Yeah, really, we enjoy. We take our time. We like to have good dinner, good.
Yeah, I will show you that.
Good apéro. I hope Bertrand told you about the apéro when you came to France. Yeah,
everybody knows about the pre-dinner.
It's kind of religion for us.
And so yeah, because the Basque country, especially on the coast by Biarritz, where you live,
Yeah.
that can be very touristy.
Yeah.
But in Bayonne, it's more.
It's different because it's not near. It's not directly in the ocean.
Yeah.
Biarritz, where I live, it's like the next city, like a few kilometers away from here, and it's more like a balnear.
It's more a resort.
Yeah, it's a resort. It's like you come here to.
There's a
to
casino.
surf, a casino.
Very fancy stores.
Yeah,
Chanel,
yeah.
Dior.
Exactly. All city also, but different.
A little
way
bit
to live in.
a little bit more a city by the ocean, while Bayonne is more to the country.
Yeah, it's more like exactly. It's more in the Basque culture. It's more like how do I have to say it? It's typical.
More, yeah.
Wow,
more
look out! It's beautiful.
Authentic in an older way.
Exactly. Thank you, Bert. You found the word.
So, yeah, we are just taking a peek in the cloister, guys, because so the markets where, but also where some of the richest Bayonnais, people living in Bayonne, would be buried. And so what you see here is an actual tombstone, and on the floor also, most of the floor is actually made of tombs.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and it's interesting because that shows us that the most lively section of the city is also where people were being buried.
Yeah, yeah.
So you were living, with the with the dead,
yeah.
with death around.
It's a really spiritual way to live.
And it's very new that cemeteries are put outside of the cities.
Of the cities, yes. I think it was under after the revolution, Bertrand, maybe something like this.
I think so, yeah. And we are reaching now the one of the busiest streets, at least the one where there are the most stores.
Yeah.
It's called the Street of Spain.
Spain.
Let's film that. Street of Spain, and we're gonna take left into the Rue d'Espagne. And so what's interesting is that just
from
one
the quiet places,
yeah,
to a really crowded.
Just one street away, we were just the two of us, and now we are in the busy streets of Bayonne.
So a lot of stores, a lot of boutiques here. It's where you go in the morning to buy your baguette or to find something you need. It's like you live up the boutiques. You see, you have the boutiques on the floor, and then you have all the apartments, and so you just have to go down the staircase, and find what you need.
You don't need a car.
No, you don't need a car at all.
You just walk down the floor, and you have everything you need. So we've seen a lot of fashion stores, shoe stores. It's not your typical tourist shops. No, it's really for locals, and a little bit also. Like this one here. We're gonna talk about this Paul.
Yeah.
Because you were mentioning the Basque country, and here it says the store is called the 7 provinces of the Basque country.
Yeah.
And here is written 4 plus 3, which is 7.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
So, as you know, we are in Basque country. When I mean Basque country, it's like Basque country from Spain, from France, and also from Spain. So it's an area who has a typical border, and we how do we have to say it? It's like we really live together. We have the same culture, same language, no matter if we are Spanish or French. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we are one people for us, like
on both sides of the river,
on
the border,
of the border of the Pyrenees. Yeah. So we have 7 provinces, 7 states, if you want. And here in Bayonne, it's called labor. So you remember, Bayonne was first La Pourdoum.
And you were mentioning, sorry, because we are just by one of these shops where we cannot not talk about it. you were mentioning the ham, right?
Yeah, it's also a part of our culture.
So these guys are dry ham. It's not prosciutto, which is the Italian ham,
No,
but it's quite close as a technique. It's raw.
it's raw.
It's preserved with salt,
Yeah,
and here they added a bit of grinded pepper, right?
yeah,
Something like
local pepper also, Basque pepper. Yeah, and yeah, we eat it in different ways, often for the apéro, of course, and it's the typical gastronomic things for us. We eat a lot of ham.
And these are the peppers.
The peppers, yeah, of Espelette. Maybe you know it. You can see it here, piment d'Espelette. It's a typical pepper.
Is it strong?
No, it's soft. It's really, it's not spicy at all. A little bit, of course, but it's really soft and quiet, and it's really good.
Okay. And we are reaching the apse. I think this is how you call the back of the cathedral.
Yeah.
And here, guys, is the entrance to the cloister. So you can go inside, but it's earlier. Yeah, it's closed now. But you can see that just by the apse of the cathedral, well, people are still, sharing a drink, telling what they did today, etc. It's very lively city, old city.
Yes.
Because here we are at the highest point of Bayonne.
Yes, exactly. We are on the top of the hill, and now we're gonna go down to the river and to the other kind of bank of the city, which is also lovely and not quiet at all.
Yeah. This is
The more we go,
this is where your friends are going to go
Yeah.
for drinks, for snacks,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
for
it's-
dinner.
well,
Probably where we're going to have dinner after the tour also.
yeah, probably, and it's really lovely.
And so here we have a fountain. Let me switch to camera mode.
Oh yes, this is an old fountain, but during the Middle Age, it wasn't a fountain, as you probably know this word in French. Maybe if I say pilori,
Yeah.
you know the pilori.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's-
that's not good, guys.
that's a really not a good spot to be. It's where during Middle Age you were sent to trial in justice, and if you were guilty, you were just standing right here in front of all the people,
Where-
either way in a cage if you were a woman, or on a wood stick.
And people
you
will
remember-
throw stuff at you.
Everything they can spit on you. It was horrible way. So it was like shame
So yeah, the way was to shame
people.
people who did bad things.
Yeah.
And nowadays we don't have a pillory anymore. Look at what we see here. We are filming the camera.
You can say hi,
You
hello.
can say hello to the camera. It's we're filming one another, so our eyes on you. So we don't shame people the same way now. We put on Facebook the bad things they do, or but it was the. Are we going to walk down the street of the
Yeah,
pillory?
I think it's a good idea. So here also, as you may know, as you may see, the colors of the
Building have
of the
changed.
building, yeah, they are changing, but it's mostly red.
So
As you can see on the mostly red, green or blue, which are the colors of green and red are the colors of the Icuruña, the flags we've shown you lately.
that's true. Yeah.
You see, so it's always remained and related it to the
To the local
Basque
culture.
culture and
But-
to the local culture.
But also blue, as we see on this house. And when the shutters or the beams are painted in blue, it's more common by the ocean.
Yeah,
You don't
because
see
it was
that in the country.
exactly because it was originally made for the painting for the boats, and when some paint
And for the
remained
fishing boats.
for fishing boats
Yeah.
remained, they use it to paint the building.
Ah, that's why. And obviously, if you are in the middle of the land, you don't need a fishing boat.
No.
So we're going to walk down this street, guys. It's named
You see, Rue du Pilori, as we mentioned.
Street of the Pilori, Pilori. Maybe you can follow us. What do we have? Gary. Oh, Gary. How are you, Gary? Gary is a very nice art teacher, and he's also a great painter himself.
Okay.
And he has sent me books for Jeanne. books in French.
That's lovely.
Jeanne is my 1-year-old. Thank you, Gary, very, very, very much. Amy, I love connecting with people. If I visited 3 days or so, where should I go to have conversation, practice my bad French, etc.? And what is the population of Bayonne from Susan? So we said the population of Bayonne today is roughly 30,000.
More, 40,000.
40,000.
40,000
Wow.
now.
It was 30 when I lived here, so now it's more. Now I'm gone. It's more popular.
The more you go, the more popular it is.
And so all different ages, because we said there's a university,
yeah,
high schools,
elementary schools, everything you need to enjoy and to live correctly.
That is pretty cool. And if you come here to practice your French, even if it's bad French, the best way is always you go to the cafes out there.
Yes.
You listen to the conversation. First, you read the newspaper. You see what's on the cover. It's usually something we're complaining about, and you ask people their opinion on
about the subject.
About the subject. Okay, talking about the weather always work. I don't think this is typically French, but complaining about one thing is, and you keep your line. So that's a good one. And also don't be scared at all to have a poor accent, and that people are going to think that your French is not perfect. The point is you get better. So it's exactly the same for us. You
have a strong accent too, so
so don't be shy or ashamed by that. We never expect you guys to speak perfect French, and if you do speak just a little bit of French, we are already super happy
and super proud. Yeah, you give it a try at least.
Yeah, and
you should give it a try.
And especially in the south and southwest, people are quite loud, quite open to talk with
Latin culture. It's like we are complaining, we are living, we like to share
you make friends
feelings.
easily. They may not be your friends forever. Maybe the next day you forget you talk to them, but at least it's not so hard to get into a conversation.
No. Nobody would judge you if you try.
And we're going to show you that in Bayonne there are quite a big number of cafes
and restaurants.
So you can try in many different spots. So more of these old beams and structure. Very thin house. Look at this one, number 11 here of the street of the Pilori. Up,
thin but deep, actually.
Yeah. Because you have one room per floor.
Yeah.
But it goes deeper in the building. So not necessarily full of lights, but you told us from the beginning that Bayonne was always constrained within its walls. So any housing you can have, any room
any
you can
place you can use, you use it.
And Paul, you told me something important also. It's something we cannot show, but under each house here, there are basements.
Yeah, there are basements and caves. I don't know.
Guys, in French we say cave for basement. In English, cave is like in the grotte.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's basement. Here,
but vaulted basement from the Middle Ages.
From Middle Age, we have actually in Bayonne 138 basements.
Where you can still go today.
Yeah, so people used to live here, and they put all their goals, their food in this basement to protect them, to secure them during Middle Ages. And still in Bayonne today, we have 138 basements, and we can sometimes visit it, but it's often private property.
And we can see, for instance, that here there is a space for air to go in this basement. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Voilà. It's really cool. So we see down the streets in the sunlight. That's on the other side of the river, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting closer to the river. We're walking downwards, downhill, because we're lazy. We started from the top. But I'm going to turn around.
Thanks, Newton.
So you can see that up the street is actually going up towards the cathedral
on the bank,
which is on the highest hill, and it gets louder and busier because now we get to the area where you have all the cafes and also the food market.
All the life is happening. It's today you see like all the people are outside, and that's what I was mentioning. It's the lifestyle. We are always on the cafe, on the restaurants, meeting your friends, your family, It's like, and you can see that it's a really mixed population, old, young, everybody's speaking to each other. It's super.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's one bar, two bar. Oh, and rock and roll.
A private concert for you guys.
We're going to check how is the Basque rock doing these days. This is unexpected, and these are the joys of
Bayonne.
of Bayonne and doing a tour live. Wow, yeah.
I like it. What do you think?
Some blues, yeah. This is a pretty cool surprise. We should say cellar. Yes, Amy, you're right. It's a cellar.
Basements. Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So to the other side. Sorry, guys, we're going to cut the concert short and keep walking.
And refund the tickets.
And to the other side, we have the food market.
Yeah. So it's pretty modern for the city because they started to build it in the mid 19th century.
Okay.
And this structure you see here is from 1992.
1992?
This structure.
Oh, it's very recent.
And it's the place where you go to make your grocery daily from the local producers and farmers. So you only buy and eat local produce.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you told me that because since we're, you know what, let's get by the riverside, that the farmers who were living miles away, they were coming here to sell this produce.
Exactly.
On the river here.
Exactly. So that's why they choose this spot actually for the market, for the hall, because we have this river called La Nive. And
Nive is N-I-V-E.
Yeah.
So it's not the knife, it's the Nive, we say.
Nive. So
you can see
we are on the docks here.
Us in the shade right there.
Actually, it wasn't like this in the past. There were like kind of docks with staircases, etc., etc. And you have to imagine like a lot of boats were coming here daily with all the products, with animals, with cereals,
and they would tie their boat to the rings we see out there on the arches.
Yeah. And then they were selling it.
And actually, Paul, to the other side, that's what you're talking about.
The dock, the old dock.
Yeah, there's a ramp where you could unload the boat with the barrels and then go on either side of the Nive River.
Exactly. Maybe we can go to
I don't know, guys, if you can see, but I'm going to try to zoom. But maybe in the background, the dark shade. Let me try. Yeah, the dark shade you see up there. These are the Pyrenees Mountains that we see in the background. So we're very, very close to the mountain.
30 minutes by car.
30 minutes by car, but we are at sea level. We're not yet.
Zero meter.
And before we cross the river, Paul, there was this building here right in front of us, maybe the most beautiful mansion in Bayonne.
Yeah, it's called Hôtel de la Moulisse, or La Moulisse.
Yes.
So it's really kind of old, but what's the funny fact about it, you see it's red, so you imagine just a random paint, but it is not. It was first made, this red color, with beef blood, beef dry blood.
You mean the blood of the beef?
The blood of the beef, yeah.
They used the blood to paint their houses.
Yeah,
that explained
it's really hard to explain it. I explain it through a spiritual way, but it's famous for this. We call it the beef building.
I'm playing dumb a little bit because I know that, guys. In French, we actually call this type of red, because you know they have different names. We call it le rouge sang de bœuf, so beef blood red.
But it's beautiful.
But no, so nowadays it's not blood anymore, right? It's
red paint. Red painting. But when it was done during the 16th century, it was this beef blood.
Let's film the.
Maison Moulisse.
So La Maison Moulise,
You have
House of Moulise, and here we can fact check what Paul has just said. Remarkable house, architectural characteristic of typical Renaissance period, and it current timber framed. We were wondering how you say that, timber framed walls, and results of major transformation in the late.
They don't speak about the
19th
develop
century.
because it will scare the people, but it's actually true, guys.
And here we see the older bridge, all made of wood, and the house that was already there. It's a very and very beautiful house. We can see that at the ground floor there are shops. So this is a cosmetic shop, and then
Now it's private property.
you need to get closer to the mic, Paul. It's
private property now.
Yeah.
But, it's the way it's done in Bayonne. You have shops on the first floor, on the basement, and then it's only private flats and apartments.
It looks like almost like a chateau, or
it was kind of wealthy people who used to.
I can believe that. Yes, gorgeous home, and it's still private, so you cannot visit it.
No, you can't visit it. You can't visit. You can't go.
So we're going to cross the river.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's do it. There's so many other things to see and to enjoy.
So by crossing the river, we are getting to another district.
Yeah.
So the one we were in was called the Grand Bayonne.
Grand Bayonne.
So I mean the greater Bayonne, so the bigger, but it's the original.
It's the the older, and the first Bayonne. And now we're crossing
from the Romans, from the Roman time in the 4th century to the becoming a very important trade city in the 12, 13, 1400s due to trade with England.
Exactly.
Because the region here belonged to the English, was under English domination since the wedding of Eleanor of Aquitaine
and Henri Plantagenet
and Henry II, King of England.
Yeah.
So for 300 years, Bayonne is their major trade center on the southern Atlantic side.
And it was the golden age of Bayonne.
And it was the golden age of Bayonne.
Yeah, because there was a lot of shipyards and ship construction right on this new neighborhood where we're gonna.
On this new neighborhood. So let's switch the camera to front camera. And we're now, so if one is called the Grand Bayonne, the other one is called the
Petit Bayonne.
Petit Bayonne.
The small Bayonne.
Bigger Bayonne and smaller Bayonne.
But it's pretty new, this nomination, this name, because it was called Bourg-Neuf.
Yep. So Bourg-Neuf means the new borough.
The new city.
The new city.
If you translate it in French.
And there's another concert.
Yeah. All years, all days, music, restaurants, hard life, as you can see, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty hard life. Yeah. You're wondering why one person would leave this place. Wow! Just we need to. No, restez là, vous.
Stay here, please.
So, guys, this is Sophie. She's the mother of Paul.
Yeah. I can't explain. It's live, guys. This is my mother.
Elizabeth, who is her sister. Are they following us on YouTube? So you knew.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thank you, Mom.
Well,
yes.
You have to tell me. Did you plan for your? Mom?
I did not plan this, but I think she did. She was following me from the beginning. I think she was in the shadow.
This is a first in the history of the live tours by my private parent, guys. We randomly jumped into the mother of my co-host. So this only in Bayonne.
It's a small city, so you used to cross people you know, but your own mother.
So we're leaving the river. We're leaving the river banks, and
we're getting. In fact, Bertrand, we can stop right here. You can see the arch on the left.
Yeah, let's try to show that. I'm telling the street where we are now. It's called the Spanaco Street. Voila, Spanaco Street. We're going to walk down that street now. And then back to Paul. You were saying.
So there's a lot of arch here because originally, if we jump back to the past, we are underwater right now.
Underwater?
Yeah, people used to ride boats here and go.
Oh, that's why you have all these archways.
Yeah, exactly. And everything was underwater, and we were just.
And so the street here was like a canal.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's called also le Petit Bayonne, so small Bayonne, but it's also called the Little Venice, the Petit Venice for this.
It's funny how every single city that has canals is calling itself the
imagination.
the northern Venice, the southern Venice, the small Venice, the green Venice, the yellow Venice. Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they used to be canals in the streets.
Yeah.
And so yeah, because we're just above. I mean, we are in between two rivers.
Yeah.
So that's
between the Nive,
that explains it.
And l'Adour. Adour.
The Nive River. Yes, we're going to finish the tour where the two river actually meet, right?
Yes, exactly.
So what would be the main difference between the small Bayonne and the?
So you mean today's or historical way?
Today.
So here the small Bayonne is more young, more popular. I mean, it's like
because the university is just there.
Yeah, it's where you find small flats because you have the university at the end of the street where we can see, and it's more like students and young couples who are buying.
It's the cheaper side.
Yeah, it's the cheaper side, but it's
you can see that there are little burgers all the way. We don't see any fancy stores.
No,
you don't buy clothes. No. You only buy food.
We don't need clothes. We need burgers. Yeah.
And so, what is this? Euskal Herria Bai? That means
yes to Basque country.
Yes to the Basque country, and also it's in the small Bayonne that the Basque culture is a bit stronger. You would say
nowadays, yes, definitely. But it used to be. Maybe we can mention it. Gascogne.
Gascony, yeah.
Gascony. First of all, here we are in the Rue Panoco, which means the one who steal the. How do you mean chou-fleur? You know?
Yeah, the cauliflowers.
The cauliflower in Gascogne. In Gasconian language, it means the one who's stealing the.
Who's stealing, like the volley?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's what it means.
We're in the Steve Street. Oh, I'm trying. There's a bit, maybe too much sun for a selfie mode. Oh, you will see our beautiful faces later.
Here it's really mixed. It's from local communities, so the Basques and the Gascony.
Because because Bayonne is really on the northern edge of the Basque country.
It is today the capital of the French Basque area, the Labour of the labor.
Yeah, but it's not always been the case.
No, it's kind of new. But Bayonne is first of all Gascony city.
So it's one.
Latin, it's Latin.
When you're on the border, both sides are saying you're mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Another concert for you guys.
Another concert. Wow. Before the concert starts, tell us a little bit. We have a chateau here, a fortress.
Yeah, it's called the New Castle.
The New Castle. Yeah.
New Castle. It has been built by Vauban.
Yeah. Vauban was the Minister of War of Louis XIV.
Exactly. Vauban came here to make Bayonne a military watch point again and strategic point.
I think this is too loud, so we're going to talk about this. Thank you so much. So cool. I mean, there's concerts everywhere.
Yeah, I told you it's a lifestyle. I'm gonna repeat it again and again, but it's for me it's normal. That's why I can't hear from right here anymore.
Everybody's dead. Oh yeah,
okay, guys.
That is really, really, really cool. Guys, we're going to try to take you inside this place, the Trinquet Saint-André, which, as you can read, is a former royal tennis court from the early 17th century. And you were mentioning, Paul, that yes, I'm not sure that there will be open 4G, but maybe we can go.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
So
regarde si ça marche toujours.
yes,
Yes.
yes, we are still live.
So we are going to go. It's open. We're very happy. We're going to see the inside of a tennis court from the early 1600s. And you were telling me that King Louis XIV, the one who built Versailles,
Yeah,
he got married with a Spanish princess,
in
not
1660, yeah.
not far from here. Wow, that's so cool. Oh, no one's playing though.
No. So
You know what?
here another
Let's go
typical.
out there. You're going to tell us about it out there. I think it's going to be a nice. Ah, on peut pas monter. Mets-toi là. Parfait.
So, as you may see, we are in kind of structure with 4 walls. It's called a trinquet, so we will pronounce it a trinket. So it's the place where you play royal tennis.
Yeah, royal tennis.
And here in the local culture in Basque country, we have many local sports inspired directly from this royal tennis.
Okay.
So we have the pala. It's the name of the sport. It's kind of.
It's like a wooden racket.
Yeah, it's a wooden racket.
Very heavy.
Really heavy, and you play with a strong ball made of leather and stones, and you go and you play 2 versus 2.
I'm going to because I know Paul is a great player, so he forgets that maybe you guys have no idea what he's talking about. So actually, you play in teams of 2. You know what, we could be a great, and this is where the important people would watch the game, and here's a good place for self-promote. So the people will be playing against the wall in the back out there, and it's 2 versus 2. So they're dressed in white, and they have a belt of a different color.
Yeah, to separate them. To
usually red, green,
as
blue,
as you see the color,
like the regular colors.
It's always the same.
And so you have 2 players who are playing close to the wall out there, and 2 players who are here more to the back. And so there's not a net, so it's not like modern tennis. You hit the ball, it has to hit the wall straight. Yeah. Then you can bounce against the side walls and even
the roof.
On the roof here of the gallery. There's a gallery here where you can actually see the game, and there's another one. Oops, I think what's happening here? Voila. And there's another one, another gallery down here. So this is how tennis was played at first, and here in the Basque Country, we still play this tennis. Not with the net. I mean, obviously there are people playing modern tennis nowadays.
Yes.
But this one has stayed, and there are different ways to play.
This is the oldest place on earth where you play this kind of stuff. The Trinquet Saint-Martin is the oldest trinket on earth.
That is still used.
Still used. Yes.
Wow, that's really cool.
So as you mentioned it, Louis XIV played a party, a game of.
And did they? You think they let them win?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
You don't want to
I don't want to lose against the king.
You don't want to win against the king.
I don't want to win.
And today you say that it's very. You play.
Yeah, often we play. It's like you have a phone call from your friend and say, oh, let's play the tennis, the pala, and you say okay, and you meet there and you just have a game and you enjoy, and then you go to the restaurant and then to the concert.
Well, that's what we're gonna do then.
Let's go.
But thank you. We're very. I was wondering if that would be open, but it is. So it was really cool to take you guys in there. And we're now going to walk down the stairs to get back to the streets. Oh, just showing you the roofs of Bayonne are made of tiles. Which is what you see mostly in southern France. It's not the grey roofs of. You share a
I don't know, just a friend.
Oh, and so this trinquet, wow, it's very loud with the concert, is located on the Tonnelier. Tonnelier is the barrels. The barrel maker Okay, because yeah, we are in a trade city that is really living back in the country.
Important harbor and trade harbor at this time. Through all the stuff were going through Europe, through the south, and it was coming to Bayonne first.
Okay.
So it was really important.
And nowadays, what is the economy of Bayonne?
It's kind of hard to have an objective view of it, but most people are living from services. I would say,
yeah.
like lot of people are either lawyer, doctors, or teachers, or they have restaurants, or but
And
there's no more
and tourism.
industry, and a lot of tourism, of course, but they are like
not big industry.
Not big industry anymore.
Like manufacturing.
No. It wasn't during the Middle Age where it was the case.
They don't build ships or boats anymore.
No, not in Bayonne, but in the Spanish side, yes, they still do it. In Pasaya.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So we are actually going now through the old Bayonne, and there was here some, because there was a graffiti or street art here that I saw while we were preparing this. It's the tough past of the Basque country, right?
Yes, it's kind of not
What
the dark past, but it's our past. So what you guys got to know, it's like we are not Spanish from us. We don't feel Spanish or French. We are Basque. So if you go, you cross the Pyrenees, you speak the Basque. You speak Basque language, and if you are here, you can speak Basque. So we are one people, and a lot of people fight an independent country, and still today there are people who are trying to
separate from France or Spain. And there was a big organization called the ETA.
Yes, it's Spain, and EK in French.
Yeah,
in France. And
but they're not active anymore.
No, since 10 years they dropped the weapon, and it was white flag, and
so white flag, no more killings.
No, until the 1978, sorry, there were like some bombings and stuff like this in the Basque country, but not anymore, of course. But it was kind of hard time, so sometimes.
And so the idea was to fight, especially in Spain, and in France,
the government
against the police.
And the police
to be fighting for the independence of the Basque people.
They were fighting, and there was like
So nowadays there's no more. This movement has decided to stop fighting.
Nope, not any more problems. No.
And would you say there's more independence in the Basque country in terms of speaking the language, in terms of local cultures?
So basically, what has changed is like they dropped weapon and they understood that they took the problem from a political point of view. So now they are a political party, so they're trying to work on it with on the democratic way.
So thanks to elections and not
exactly. So they're starting to make they made their own schools actually. So you can, if you live there, you can put your kids to schools called Ikastola,
where the classes are
in Basque.
In Basque.
Yes, you can do it. First choice.
It's a big motorcycle. So it's much more a peaceful environment and also more freedom for the Basque people.
Yes. There's no more problem now. So
because the main thing was to be able to maintain the language.
Yes.
And so teach it in schools, but also have classes in that language so it survives. Because Basque country, the soul of it is the language.
Yes, and it's prehistorical language.
Very ancient language. So yeah, I'm trying to learn it, and it's a pretty hard language to learn.
To learn, yeah. If you're not used to it, it's really hard.
We're going to reach the Riverside up. I'm switching camera mode. We're going to reach back the Neve and go all the way to the town hall, right?
Yes, exactly.
So we're going to go towards a bridge. It's called Marengo. Marengo.
I guess it's one of the oldest bridge of Bayonne.
Oldest bridge of Bayonne.
Built in the 12th century.
Wow.
So imagine it was almost 1,000 years old.
And we're going to walk on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess if you've been standing for 1,000 years, we should not be worrying too much.
For 10 more years.
Yeah, 10 more years, it will do the job for two. As you said, Basque people were short, so
and light.
And light. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about the last part.
Oh, come on, 2 years better you are.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see in a few years. And we are passing by. Let's maybe cross street because this is a very pretty building we're walking by. It is the Basque Museum.
Exactly. It's since 1924. It's the Basque Museum. It was first a private hotel, a private house, and since 1924, it's a museum of the Basque culture, literally. So it's a really important place for us, for Basque people. It's where you can find anything you need to know about the local culture. If you need to learn about the language, the art, the architecture, everything you need to know, I really recommend you guys to visit this museum. It's really nice museum.
And here's we're going to see the front of it. Yeah, it's a beautiful old house.
Yeah.
The Dagoret house.
Exactly.
And so do you have
Maison Dagoret?
Guys, you can see that here is written in French, so Basque Museum, and here is written in Basque. So it's interesting because in Basque, you don't say Basque.
No, we say Euskal. Euskal.
Euskal. That's the Basque word for Basque.
There's no logic with French.
And so we're back to the Riverside.
The docks. Here is another old docks. So it's called the Marengo docks here. It's which one of the oldest docks of Bayonne.
And after the bridge out there is where the two rivers meet.
Yes, it's called the embouchure in French, the delta, or I don't know how to say it. Yeah, the delta, no, I would say.
Yeah, where the two river meet, and then before reaching the ocean.
Exactly.
So more cafes. No concert here, so
for the moment.
Yeah, this one is more. Yeah, this is a pretty nice restaurant, the Bayonne one.
There are a lot of good restaurants here. It depends of your mood.
So what would you say are the local specialties in terms of food?
Oh, you have the tapas.
Tapas, yes.
So the tapas are the kind of really small stuff you eat for the apéro, actually.
Like appetizers.
It's appetizer.
Like
you finish
like
your day work. So you go after your working day. You go out with your friends. It's like around 6, 7, and then you go to this terrace.
Yep.
And you have these tapas. It's kind of like appetizers. You can enjoy it with a glass of wine or good beer. Maybe we're gonna do it later.
I think we're going to do that. And so, what would you have at the tapas? The ham. We talked about the ham of Bayonne.
The ham of Bayonne, so le jambon de Bayonne. You can find also a lot of what's called in Basque changuro, which means crabs. It's a lot of seafood, so some crabs, some fish. It's kind of a lot of local food mixed together in a small piece of bread or something like this. You really have to try it.
And you told me also about chocolate.
Oh yeah. We didn't talk about chocolate.
Bayonne is the city where chocolate was imported in France.
Yeah, the chocolate history in France, I think, started in Bayonne. So we have to talk about the Jew community.
Yeah.
Which came around the end of 15th century, beginning of 16th.
Yes, they were coming from Spain.
Yeah, they were chased off Spain from the Inquisition.
Yeah, that's true. That's the moment where in Spain, the new king and queen were named the Catholic kings.
Yes.
They expulsed all the Jews from Spain and then from Portugal.
They chased.
So
from the
Jewish community is going away from Spain, and the first country you cross is France, and the first city is Bayonne.
Yeah, they got sheltered here in Bayonne because it's really close to Spain, so they could kept their network in Spain, and it was really close to the border. It's still really close to the border, and they started to build a chocolate trade here in Bayonne
because the chocolate beams were first imported in Europe, through the Spanish and
Yes,
Portuguese, American,
with Cortés, yes.
American colonies from
Exactly.
South America.
Exactly.
Because France, we didn't have chocolate, obviously in France or in the French colonies.
No.
But thanks to the
wedding.
Hispanic Jews, it moved. We started to have chocolate.
Through this Jewish who lived in Bayonne. In this neighborhood, maybe we will see it in a few seconds. And of course, because Louis XIV get married with the
Spanish princess.
Spanish princess also.
So that's how chocolate became popular at the court of Versailles, was thanks to the wedding and thanks to the Spanish princess Louis XIV's marriage.
Yes, and chocolate is still really important in Bayonne because you have really all the skills about the way you're making chocolate. So if you guys come here in Bayonne, take a chocolate from you. So
it's true that we didn't have time today to pass by all the streets of Bayonne. It's a very dense city, very rich city culturally speaking, but in terms of food, it's just a heaven. And it's true that the chocolate makers of Bayonne are very, very renowned in France, because this is where chocolate,
take a newspaper.
The history of chocolate started. I remember in Paris, quite often I take people to a chocolate store, and it's called the Musée du Chocolat of Bayonne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Paris, you have it?
Yeah.
Because Bayonne was the French capital of chocolate, and still today we can say it, because historically it was the first city where chocolate was imported in France. So
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me show you guys where we are, because we are going to finish our tour at the reunion of both rivers. So if you guys are following us on Google Maps, or you want to find this way, these sites when you're back home, it gets a little bit windy now, but it's called Esplanade of the Échauguettes, and this is where the two rivers are crossing. So there's a third section of the city we won't have time to cover today, but it's on the other side of the big river, the Adour.
It's called Saint-Esprit.
Saint-Esprit, which means the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit neighborhood.
It's the neighborhood of the train station. Maybe you see popping here is a train station, and so Bayonne is only 4 hours, a little bit under 4 hours by train from Paris.
Yes, it's kind of quite fast to come.
Yeah, it's very fast. You go into the train, the TGV train, very comfortable. You take a nap, read a book, and up you're in Bayonne.
And get ready for the tapas, the concerts, and
you wake up in Paris, take a croissant in front of Notre Dame, take the train, and then you go to the concert in Bayonne for the evening. And so there's this big bridge that connects the Petit Bayonne, the small Bayonne neighborhood, to the more modern, even though you understand, guys, that it's more than 500 years old on the other side only. And here you are on the bigger river, which is called Adour. It's spelled A-D-O-U-R.
It's the oldest bridge of Bayonne, I think.
The oldest bridge of Bayonne.
It was built in 1125, the first. Wow. Made of wood first. And with oil, whale oil, also covered of whale oil.
That is true.
From the salt of the ocean.
There are so many things we haven't had time to talk about. We worked a lot on preparing this tour, and it's true that the Basque people, for quite a while, they were specialized in whale hunting in the ocean.
They were really well known for this.
That was in the 12, 13, 14, 1600s.
Exactly.
Then Bayonne was also a big base for the official pirates.
Exactly.
The corsair.
The corsair, not the pirates, the corsair, yeah, you're right. Exactly.
So, corsair, I don't know how to translate, guys, in English, but they were like official, I call them official pirates, because they were given a letter by the king, and they were allowed to attack and ransom boats, but only of the king's enemies.
They were kind of mercenaries.
Halfway between soldiers and pirates.
There was
and so Bayonne was a big city for that. It made the fortune of Bayonne in the 1700s.
Exactly. And we used to fish whale until the 16th century.
And not anymore, because there's no more whales. It's too warm now. And guys, we have an amazing point of view. So down this way, you keep going for 2 miles, and you will be reaching the Atlantic Ocean, where there are pretty big waves for surfing. To our left, there is the town hall of Bayonne, where the big parties, the big fiestas of Bayonne are starting. Out there, you can see the arrow or the spire of the cathedral. Down this way, you have the Nive River with the food market, where Paul and I are going to share drinks and maybe a bit of food too. Why not? The Grand Bayonne, which is the oldest part, started by the Romans, but then mostly developed in the 12 and 1300s. And then it reaches the Adour River to the other side there with the Saint-Esprit city, and then it continues this way. And so if you follow the river here upstream, you will cross the beautiful region of Gascony, which is the north of the Basque country. Yes. And it goes all the way back to the Pyrenees.
Yeah, it's
what a beautiful city.
It was a pleasure, guys, to share this.
Every time I come back here, I wonder why I am not living here anymore.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
We'll see. Paris is not bad too.
It's beautiful, Paris.
But it's true. There's a soul and something quite nice here.
Here it's peaceful. It's like
come close to me, Paul.
It's peaceful. Sorry, guys, and it's like as you see, it's like we take our time. We live daily, day after day, and
yeah, taking your time and enjoying the moment seems to be a big.
We also have our local culture, which we love to share. So really, if you come to Basque country some days, feel free to ask any questions.
And Paul, you have started your own company?
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Mayaritz.
Mayaritz, yeah, you can find it on the internet.
We're going to share a link to. We're going to share a link. We're going to share a link to your website.
Yeah.
So you guys, if you're coming to the Basque country, either here in Bayonne or in Biarritz or even San Sebastian, on the Spanish side, Paul.
The main goal is to share with you the local culture and to show you the best of the Basque country. Spanish,
both the cities and the little villages, also by the coast or in the mainland.
There's so many things to see and to discover here also. So.
Here, I hope there's not too much wind. I'm trying to protect from the wind. So guys, it was a pleasure. I was very, very proud to be in my hometown with the great guide, Paul. Nice to meet you. Thank you for following us every weekend. That's really is a game changer for us because things since the lockdown, we haven't done many tours.
Yeah, it's not time.
We haven't done any tour at all, but the ones we're doing for you every weekend, and it's quite amazing to see that every weekend we have great support from you guys. If you're here for the first time with us, I run a company in Paris called My Private Paris. So today we're not in Paris, but in Bayonne, southern France. And every weekend we do live tours on YouTube that work thanks to your generosity. There's a PayPal link in the comments for this video if you want to support us. Next weekend, next Saturday, I will be back to Paris. And I will do a tour with Raphael. We're going to do a tour of the medieval hearts and legends of Paris.
Oh, wow.
And the week after that, it will be my business partner, Marie, who will do a tour from the Loire Valley. So once again, we will go away from Paris and she will take you to the beautiful cities and chateaux of the Loire Valley. Voilà, we were live from Bayonne for the first time in our young careers.
It was a pleasure to meet you and to share with you the local things and everything. I hope you all are safe with these things going on.
That's true.
Stay safe and I'll see and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you very much for following us and see you next week. Bye-bye.